So I'm there, I'm in the room. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to people. And I walked up to a group of people. I just sort of did the thing where you kind of hang because they're in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, yeah. So you're trying to like Velcro to them.
No,
like, I belong in this group. Can someone just look at me?
But they were talking to him like, I can't just interrupt and be weird. So I kind of
But I feel weird standing there.
I feel weird.
Yeah.
Look, we're not here to sell you transformation. We're here to share some truths. Because this stage of life can sneak up on you in the best possible way.
There's a new quiet swagger that comes with it. One you earn simply by being you. We'll walk with you. You don't have to be anywhere else. Turns out it's good here. And sometimes it's even great. Welcome back to This Gets Good, or it turns out this gets good even, both. Today we're talking about loneliness, and I want to preface it with, I know that there is an epidemic of loneliness at a deep level out there, which is very scary. And so we wanted to leave that to the experts and instead talk about the more everyday loneliness. And I think more so for people who probably, for the most part, aren't lonely. They maybe do have friends and family around them, but still sometimes you feel loneliness. And then others that do find themselves maybe living alone, or maybe the breakdown of a marriage or the loss of a partner, and you're mostly fine, but there is this loneliness creeping in. I don't feel like we are skilled enough to talk about the really sad loneliness, and I don't want to belittle any because I don't feel that, and I don't think it'd be right for us to comment on it. Would you agree?
Agreed. So I think what we'll do instead, we do have maybe a couple stories, and we do have some tips and some ideas, and maybe just some thoughts on how to think about loneliness differently.
Yeah. That's the lens that we always come from with any topic. Is my true belief generally in life is the only person you can control is yourself. So then we look at it through that lens of what can I do? So if I'm feeling loneliness in a given time or a given day, where am I at the source of that? Yeah. That little niggly loneliness rather than the really tough loneliness.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, when we were thinking about this episode, there are a few things that you found to describe being alone, I suppose. And I quite liked it because I think it sets the stage for then how we start to talk about things as we go. Yeah. Being alone is a physical state. So being alone, right?
Yeah,
by
like
yourself.
So physically nobody's with you. So right now I've got you. Right?
Yes.
So we're not.
Feeling lonely. So feeling lonely is more emotional state. And then feeling connected is the experience of being known, understood, and valued. So I think we'll bounce between those two for sure.
And the third one, feeling connected, is where we feel we could offer some
help. More, I guess,
a conversation, unpacking ideas. Because when I thought about this topic, I said to you, I might struggle with this. I don't think it's fair for me to talk about it because I don't know that I feel a lot of loneliness, because I'm very lucky. I have a great family that I live with. And I have great friends, you being one of them, of course. Some beautiful friends, actually, we have, right, that we just never imagined. And wait till when we do a podcast in a few weeks' time on friendship. And then I thought, okay, I'm not qualified to speak on it because I don't feel lonely. But there are moments where I started to realise you let loneliness creep in, that you could do something otherwise, even if you're shy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I know people say join a club or do the thing or do a hobby, but that doesn't suit everyone. So we've decided, what can you do if you're a little bit shy or those things just aren't of interest?
Absolutely.
Or you're only lonely some of the time.
So I remember this time a while ago, but I just remember it because it threw me a little bit. I went by myself to a marketing seminar in California. So I actually flew on a plane. I'm like, I want to learn this stuff. And I went by myself. I got a hotel room by myself. And then
why is your story good? we never tell each other the stories. And I'm like, I'm struggling. And then I went, no, I've got a story.
No, I have a story.
Damn you, it's travel related. How did you do that? Keep going, sorry.
So I show up. I think I had a VIP ticket or something. I can't remember. I got some deal.
Yeah.
So the night before the seminar, which was 3 days, kicked off, I went to this opening drinks and nibbles thing. And remember, I am by myself, the physical state of
Yes.
being alone. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to push through some of my nerves and I'm going to go talk to some people.
And ultimately, you are a confident person, right?
so I thought.
Okay. How long ago was this?
I think it was like 5 years ago, right before COVID. Yeah, something around that.
Yes, you were still confident.
I was speaking. I was doing my own
Yeah.
speaking. I knew people
You were
in
speaking for
industry.
ages. See, I think this is great though because you know what? I want to just stop and say this
Sure.
because this is where we try and impart
Our wisdom?
our low-level wisdom to everyone. Okay. Heather is a speaker on stage, speaking mostly on marketing and social media. And I have employed her speaking services for more than a decade ago. So this is 5 years ago. So this is someone who is so competent on stage. And I think you think those people don't struggle. I love that. No, I don't love that you struggled, but I love it's really important to show even extroverts or people who come across as confident.
Yeah.
Our lens on loneliness affects everyone.
So true. Yeah, thank you for that. So I'm there, I'm in the room. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to people. And I walked up to a group of people. I just sort of did the thing where you kind of hang because they're in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, yeah. So you're trying to like Velcro to
Velcro?
them.
No,
like,
I'm
I belong in this group. Can someone just look at me?
But they were talking to him like, I can't just interrupt and be weird. So I kind of
But I
stand
feel
there.
weird standing
I feel
there.
weird.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, hi, and I introduce myself and I'm trying to get to know them. And now, here's the thing. I don't know if they didn't want me there or if it was in my head that they didn't want me there.
Yeah, what
but
happened?
either way, in my head, I said to myself, they don't like me. I don't belong.
How many times have we done that?
So I leave that little group and then I go off to try and talk to another little group. And then because I'm spiraling in my little head, the emotional state of loneliness,
Yeah.
I'm lonely, I'm here by myself. Wow.
Poor me.
I lose my spark and my enthusiasm to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
So the sad part of this story is this, for whatever reason, I hung on to this emotional state for the entire weekend to a point where there was a dance party.
You didn't go?
I didn't go. I was in
Are
my
you
hotel room.
not?
I was in my hotel room
And
looking
when
down
did-
on the party.
And when have you, in my time with you, given up a dance party?
Right?
Jeez,
And I'm normally cool. Like, I'm okay to go talk to people alone. But there was just something, I spiraled. So I just wanted to share that story.
I think that really goes well with that second state, emotional loneliness. It can be true loneliness, like you actually are lonely and you're not sure what to do. Or it can be emotional in that you have got into your head
Yeah.
and
stayed
you've told
there.
yourself a story and some of it may or may not be true.
And I felt so lonely that entire trip
Yeah.
because I let myself go there.
I want to talk about what you can do instead. I think a lot of us find ourselves, we're at a party, whether it's a work conference where you know no one, so it's not like friends. But
Yeah.
how many times do you go to a friend's party where you've come along to support that friend, but you don't know other people, so you're forced to make small talk? But what you did is you just stood in that group. But Sparky Heather, clever Heather, who's going to have some more to say in a minute about the antidote. The Heather I know, maybe that group just was in the middle of deep conversation and it was not personal and you got to read the room. So there's that.
Yeah, there's a few things.
And you go find somebody else who's standing alone. Or if you join a group, you wait for the moment and you ask a question. You be curious. You find something to connect on. Like how many times at a conference you're at the coffee machine? I always use those as the opportunity, like really like low risk conversations that turn into possibly a new friendship or a great chat. So someone's getting the coffee and you're like, oh, have you seen where the almond milk is? Or, oh, I really like your dress. Like very low risk, because if it doesn't go well or they're busy or not in the mood for chatting, you haven't, felt vulnerable to the point where you feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to be curious, right? If you'd have been more curious rather than told yourself they don't like me, which probably is so untrue because
It was
you
weird.
didn't even
Yeah,
spend
I
a
was in a
second,
mood.
like no one knew you. But no, but it's good because all of us have done that and we'll do it. And sometimes it's okay to also just be there for the conference and you don't have to connect with everyone. It's really lovely to try, but if it doesn't work, it's okay. Or if you go to a party and you've had enough of the small talk, you either leave or...
They call it smoke bombing, by the way. Do you know that? Like
Is that when you leave
the cool
without
kids
telling
call
anyone?
it smoke bombing, yeah.
I've done that a few times. But that's okay. You turned up for your friend, or you go find your friend whose party it was and you ask them to introduce you to someone. Like, you've got to find the thread. It's not easy, but you've got to find the thread.
It is. And I like what you said about curiosity, because
Yeah,
that's ultimately it allows you to know somebody else. It opens the door. You can ask them a question or kind of be curious about their outfit or pay a compliment. But I'm working on this other side of the flip side of that. Curiosity allows you to get to know somebody, but vulnerability allows somebody to get to know us.
Yeah. What you just said is how we feel about this topic.
Yes.
The loneliness is one part of it, but meaningful connections, like most of us, are lucky enough that we do have friends or work colleagues or people we do things with, maybe related to sports or a community thing. And maybe just sometimes we need to pay a bit more attention to making those deeper connections. I think, especially if you're shy or you don't know where to start, like, who do I already know? Who do I know already that I do something with? For instance, it could be the friend that you rarely see and you're like, actually, I really like hanging out with her. Why don't I give her a call, or why don't I organize a coffee? That's low risk again. The neighbor you always stop and talk to, like, maybe stay a little longer. Maybe say to them, hey, I'm going to pick up a coffee. Would you like to come with me?
Yeah.
Like, again, low stakes, right? What else?
Like person in your class, if you do Pilates class like we do, or at your gym, or other classes too.
Yeah, I know it sounds cliched, but I think for that general day-to-day loneliness, meaningful connections, being willing to be curious about others but vulnerable about yourself. Like, people really love getting to know others on a deeper level. And like, I even know with our friendship, we've been friends for a long time. We've talked about this for a while, but there was a point where we were friends, as in we didn't get into the deeper conversation about ourselves. We knew a lot about each other and we skirted around it. And then we tipped that over where we had those more deeper, honest conversations. And that has definitely changed everything. And now we have these beautiful travel experiences together. We understand each other. So even if you're lucky enough to have a partner, a husband, a wife, whatever that is, there's something about deep, meaningful relationships outside of that.
You have to let someone in.
You must let them in and you nurture. And that means you have to just little tiny steps.
I love that if we're talking sort of a light flow that somebody can take, be curious about other people, compliment, ask a simple question to open the door.
Yeah.
And then be open and vulnerable about how you see things as well.
Yeah.
So you let them in.
And be interested in them, because as Gay always says, you know, people are way more interested in telling you about themselves. She'll say, you know, you don't have to be embarrassed about what you said or did, because they're really focusing on the same thing. Did they say or do something silly, or they want to tell you their story?
True.
So I think that's really good. I was going to share my story
because
you said travel. Okay, so I was really thinking, when do I feel lonely? And probably, you know, it'll come to me next week when I have a moment where I feel it. I think generally all of us can feel lonely sometimes if there's something going on with someone close to us, whether it's a child or a partner or a friend, where they just don't get what I'm saying. I think not being understood can create a form of loneliness. So I don't want to underestimate that. It's not physical loneliness. It's like, I'm not being heard. So I think it's really important, back to what we said, is to hear people, to make them feel heard. And by you being vulnerable, you let people hear you. Because when you stay surface, they might want to hear you, but it's very hard to, because your walls are up and you're not letting them in. But my story wasn't that. But I just wanted to say, I think that's a big loneliness thing that we all miss. But when I do travel to see my dad in Hungary, I do feel really far away from home. Like when I'm with you, it's different. I have this deep connection to home because you're with me, or if your partner's with you or your son's with you or whatever. It's still, you feel home because they are home, you are home. But when, you know, I'm 2-3 weeks with my dad and I feel so far away, and I can go back to my bed and breakfast and go, oh, like, I'm by myself now and I'm nervous about how my dad's health is. But it's what you said before. What's happened that's beautiful is, in my case, I've gotten to meet my dad's family, which is my step family, and it's being curious about them and entering into their life. And that has really helped, like getting to know them and thinking, as much as I miss home, this is an experience I wouldn't want to give up, this chance to get to know other people. And then the other thing I do is I'll call you and we'll connect on something funny, or like we have this thing where I always stay in the same bed and breakfast, remember? And there's the guy across the road that walks his dog and goes biking, and I see him every year.
So I'll just shirt off.
Sometimes.
Is that the guy? Yeah. Okay.
And you said to me last year, is he still riding the bike and walking the dog? And it's not because I'm perving on him. It's just funny. That's our little thing. I'm like, yeah, he just went out. And I said, remember I said to you last year, they've got a new puppy.
Yeah.
So we're just watching the world around me, connecting. And then there was one day last year where a horse and carriage went by on the street, and I rang you and I'm like, what is happening? But those little moments of connection where we just laugh over something silly, and you remember you got your people, you're okay. If you're upset about something, you can talk to them about it. It's just, don't sit there and do nothing about it. I think Gay will say on this topic, from if memory serves me, that she likes her own company, but she'll pick up, if she's feeling lonely, she'll make sure she does something, and at the very least picking up a book. She just goes into that world. So there are things you can do on your own as well.
There are.
You got to figure out what they are for you.
There are. So I guess if you're thinking, okay, what do we say? I'm feeling what you're putting down. I'm gonna
pick up what you put.
But you did.
You might want to let the cool kids explain.
Yeah, the cool kids should say that, because I butchered the hell out of that.
I know, we do this thing. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Anyway, if that's what you guys are feeling right now, then just remember, you can start small. Like you said just before, tiny little steps or little risks.
Low stakes risks.
Low stakes. Yeah, that's what you said. I like that.
Send the text.
Suggest
the coffee. Sit beside someone and open a conversation.
Yeah.
I like what you're wearing. I like what you said. I heard blah, blah. Like, there's always something about someone.
Follow up. If you started a conversation and somebody just didn't get back to you, they're probably busy, you know? Like,
so I'd love to talk to you more about that.
Totally.
Because like if you genuinely do want to, that is. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Be genuine, right? Tell a friend you miss them. Why not call them for a chat? I love like that when I go, oh, I'm going to call so-and-so. And it's so nice to just hear what's happening.
I'm getting better at that too.
Yeah, and you don't know, like my mum always said, share a problem, halve a problem. Yeah. So call someone and say it to them. Be vulnerable enough to say it. It's okay to say things aren't perfect, because guess what? Talking it out can make such a difference.
It's
and
so true.
Then you just feel like, you know what? I'm so connected and lucky. And most of us are, and that's who we're talking to today.
There's one last thing I'm going to leave with you guys is, I think, remember this, like all of us have a really beautiful and rich story to tell about something we experienced, about something in our life. And it's there in all of us. And just remember that when talking to somebody, listen a little deeper, ask a few more questions, because like we keep saying, connection is very, very important. And sometimes it's up to us to bring that out in the other person too.
Yeah, if we give them permission to do it, they'll probably give that back.
Exactly.
And you know what? I learned things about you on this podcast because we're having a conversation.
There you go.
Like a few weeks ago that you had a punk style and you had coloured hair and
I had
a nose ring and things and this, which is all fine, except I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And so you're right. Even though we've known each other for 20 years, there's so many stories to share and so much wisdom to swap with people. You don't need to be an expert to be wise. So I think that we hand over to some wise people. What do you reckon?
I'm in. Let's do it.
This is where we share voices worth listening to on today's topic. Good to know. Up next, I'd like to introduce you to our expert for this episode. He is James Ellis, PhD, otherwise known as the Loneliness Doctor. He's a clinical psychologist with a mission to cure modern loneliness. So let's hand it over to him, shall we?
I see a lot of people saying, I need to make friends. So I need to go on an app and go to a meetup group. And they find themselves surprised that when they go to a meetup group at a cafe or a bar, they leave 2 hours later and don't have a friend. And friendship isn't built that way. Friendship is built by, number one, repeated exposure. So you can't go to a one-off event expecting to come back with deep, meaningful relationships. You'll see people, you'll have micro connections, but you won't really enhance your social world in a substantive way. It's important to have people who you're around frequently, you have repeated exposures, and where you have some sort of shared experience.
Next up, we hand things over to someone younger to decode a trend, a slang word, or something we've missed. All right, let's get the cool kids to explain.
Hey guys, I'm Steve. I'm 24 years old. I am a full-time uni student. I am studying my Masters of Strength and Conditioning at La Trobe. I currently work 3 jobs as a strength and conditioning coach, one at a gym, one at a school, and one at a football club. I compete in Olympic weightlifting, and I enjoy being outside in general, running, bike riding, camping. One thing I think the older generation might not realise about 20-year-olds now and loneliness is that although that we have a lot of connections on social media and we have many avenues to communicate and be somewhat social with each other, it doesn't quite fill the void of actual human interaction. And some people take like a conversation on Instagram as seeing someone in person, where personally I don't feel fulfilled by having a conversation on Instagram. Yeah, it's great to catch up and whatnot, but I'd rather go out and get a coffee or get a beer with someone. That's what makes me feel not lonely. If I'm just having constant Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook conversations with people and not actually going out and seeing them, like face to face, that's when I'll start to feel lonely. And I think that's where a bit of a disconnect between the current generation and the older generation don't quite link up, because the older generation just see Instagram and text messaging as being social, where I sort of disagree in a sense. One thing older generations might not fully understand is that the way of life now is very fast-paced. Like, a lot of people are at uni, balancing 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 jobs, paying off like a car, paying off their house, doing X, Y, Z. So a lot of the times there's just a massive disconnect between friends in their 20s due to this busy lifestyle.
Every episode, we pause for wisdom from someone who's been through it and learned a thing or two. Here's a word from the wise. Hey guys, we actually have a really special chat this week. Gay's brought in one of her friends who's from the coffee club that we are always talking about. So wait till you hear these two have a conversation. Okay, here we go.
I think that not being lonely is thinking about not being lonely. I don't think about being lonely. I don't think about it, so I'm not lonely. I'm not thinking, oh, gee, I should be lonely, I'm here on my own. I was thinking about it last night, actually, sitting there. I thought, no, I feel good. I feel happy with me, and I feel happy with my life, right? And I don't go out of my way to not be lonely, really. I just don't think about it too much. I don't understand people who get really lonely, I guess. I can understand that they get lonely, but I don't understand why, when there's so many people you can meet and so much you can do for yourself in life.
I think the fact that you don't get lonely is that you have this wonderful sociability and you love people and you love to talk.
Yeah.
And I think not everyone has that.
And we listen.
Yes.
Try to anyway,
Yes.
without interrupting.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's part of your key.
Yeah.
And I know you don't do it deliberately, but
Yeah.
I know that that's part of your personality
Yeah.
and part of what you naturally do in life is
Yeah.
see people and chat.
Yeah.
Not everyone does that. And
Yeah.
I think that's probably why some people get lonely.
And you wonder what stops them, really.
I get lonely occasionally because
Yeah.
I live by myself and I'm not as sociable as you. And when I get lonely, I actually think to myself, just get up and organise something.
Yes.
Ring someone up, organise an activity, just
And
get
then
out
you
of it
don't-
yourself.
I
But sometimes
understand
I'm not active enough in organising stuff, and so I will have some time by myself and I do feel lonely. And then I just get cranky with myself. I think, you know what to do, why haven't you done
Yeah,
it?
that's it.
So if people don't have those social skills and that sort of self-knowledge or get up and do something, I can understand why they get lonely.
Yeah. I think it's a choice.
No, I don't think
You don't
it
think
is.
it's a choice?
No,
See,
I think some
happiness is
people
choice.
just don't have those skills and don't have the self-awareness to say, I'm feeling like this, therefore I should do something.
I should do something.
They just think, I'm feeling like this.
Yeah. And then wallow in it maybe, or just think more about it.
They just don't have the skills and the self-awareness to do anything about it.
Yeah, because there's so
and
much
it's really
you can
sad because there's more and more people living alone in apartments and houses now than there ever has been. And we're an ageing population, so therefore there's going to be more older people living alone. And that's a time that the depression can come in when you're alone and old. So it is a bit of a community worry, I think.
Realising that you need the connection with people because it's good for your health. Loneliness is bad for your health. It's one of the worst things for your health.
It is.
Right? So you need to get up and make the effort. That's the advice. Just make an effort somewhere. Even if it's a tiny little effort, right? Even if it's, I don't know, cleaning the sink. You got up and did something that was accomplished, right? Don't sit around and do something.
There's lots of community things you can do
too.
There's
so many.
There's the community centres have courses you can do. They do morning teas. You could go and volunteer and help someone else.
Help someone else, that's always a key.
Yeah.
Although I don't do any of it at the moment, but I used to. Right. You do something for other people. It's a good thing. It feels better. You feel better about yourself.
You do.
Well, part of my growing older process, looking after me.
Well, you've looked after a lot of people in your life.
Oh, so. Yeah. It's time, and I've read a lot of things and listened to people like Brené Brown and whatever. It's now time for you. Your time is precious because it's running out, really. It's really like that for everybody. Doesn't matter how old you are, in fact. Could happen tomorrow. So, start putting yourself a bit first. And that's hard for me. That's been very hard. And I have done it in the last 2 years of moving in here to myself. Yeah, I've managed to do it. And I think that makes me feel less lonely because I'm doing, for me, I'll go and have a massage or I'll go and do something just for me. I definitely read because that's an escape. It's easy. Yeah, I've got to have a book. Can't not have a book. That'll keep me going anytime. I think if I get lost in any way, I'll just read. But certainly if I'm into painting and drawing, if I'm having a run of it, I never feel I'm just lost in it. It's a great thing to have, and it's a wonder I don't do it more because it is a great thing to have. If you've got to go and do some art, go and learn to draw, go and paint, anything. It'll take you away from everything in life because you're concentrating on that thing. It's good for your brain too. So that's a great thing.
Don't be afraid to make contact with people because most people love a good chat.
Yeah, I like to talk about themselves, so you listen. Right, that's it. Of course. Instigate a conversation. Just say something to somebody.
So guys, just remember, staying curious allows us to know somebody else, but vulnerability allows them to know us. And sometimes that's the missing piece. So send this to someone you think might need a little reminder about the importance of connection and would really be grateful for some simple steps to get started.
Love that. Okay, so actually next week's a really great topic because we'll
Perfect
piggyback
segue.
off of this, and that's friendship. So if loneliness is the diagnosis, friendship might just be the cure. And building meaningful friendships, especially as we get older, is one of life's great joys.
Boy, it is.
Yes. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, 2 quick things. What do you think of the show? We would love to hear from you by leaving a review. So just pick your favorite podcasting platform, pop us a review, let us know what you think. And secondly, we send out a fantastic newsletter every Friday called The Good News. We'd love to have you on that as well. We send things that you don't always see or hear on this podcast. Come on over to thisgetsgood.com and sign up. And turns out something good might be closer than you think.